you're seeing some video.
Yeah, I'm seeing video. It's just all messed up. Maybe it's a bad cable.
I wouldn't think so, but I don't know.
Yeah.
This is the one he told me. Yeah, Thaddeus said we'll get the other ones next week. Yeah, really?
I bet you can walk over here and pass this on. I'll be able to tell you. Anyone remember the final last year? Was it 39-0? Anyone remember the final?
39-0. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Sorry to bring it up, guys. I just had to know for sure.
Yeah, we lost. That's all. Sir, I'm going to go to the gate. I better tape that back down.
Yes.
Still getting a good signal?
Yep.
Wherever they can get me to.
Hey, in open videos, there's no video playlist there.
Carlsbad. That's good football. That's right. We're all good. Rapid stuff.
Add I've got end of broadcast. That's it.
We're out. Stuff. That's awesome.
So right now, if I click on it and open it, so it's there. Okay. Okay. Cool. Sounds good. And I think my phone is over there. All right. Awesome. Thank you. Test, 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 test. Test.
Something else go wrong?
Yeah, when we first got it, it was all messed up.
Oh, yeah.
We had a bad connection out there, so I was
Oh, wow. Hey, good call. That, no. I don't mind standing. You might want to. Okay, so, do you have a Carlsbad roster? Yep. Okay. Let's see. Number 2.
Christian Chapman?
Jordan. Bryce Richmond is just Jordan Richmond.
Yeah, that's the guy. That's me. This is a lot of people there.
Just Jordan Richmond.
Just let you guys know, we don't have any videos for this game. So I'm just going to turn you guys down when it says play videos. Because they didn't load them. And Pepper and Brian is like, just leave this video over there.
Oh, we don't have any. Okay.
We have post game.
The video breaks, right? Number 7. Just Ricky Bird. 18 is Junior Macedo. The rest are pretty straightforward. Number 70 on the next page.
Brandon Bobby.
Yeah, it's Gobi. 78, Ricky Garcia. 80 is Al Salmon. What do you have for St. Augustine?
One guy out. 3, Dominic Morgan.
He's out. Okay.
And then 1 is Half Hour.
Half hour.
4 is Maloof. What else do we got? Oh, there's two Herbergers. Tyler, number 24, and Ryan, number 34.
Herberger. Okay.
45 is Rocky Baez.
Okay.
Let's see the other. Ben Piorkowski, 72.
How do you say it?
Piorkowski. Piorkowski. Piorkowski.
Okay.
77 Alves.
Alves.
89 is Nicholas Allard.
Okay.
And just quick note that I asked him what he felt the keys were to the game. Controlling both lines of scrimmage and setting the tempo early on offense.
Alright. I'll bounce that over to that over to you. I got some notes too. This is the week 1 preview. Just 2 little tidbits there, which might be of interest.
Check. Check.
Yeah, you can hold on to those and just interject those as you see fit.
Sneak my dog out of here. What were you guys' names again? Ed Alcaraz. What was your name again?
Andrew Lockhart.
A.K.A. Mad Dog.
Mad Dog?
No,
I'll call you that if that's what you want. That's cool.
you've got to pay him to call him that.
Oh, okay.
AKA Prison Break.
Yes.
I just finished watching that show.
All 80 episodes.
Well, they broke out of prison, didn't they?
They broke out of everywhere.
They broke out of everywhere. It's gonna hold those guys in.
Yeah. You want this chair? I can sit on my knees or sit on that case or something.
You know what? I'll stand, at least for the first quarter.
If you get tired, just seriously let me know.
Okay, will do. Appreciate it. Just hoping that sun drops down a little bit before kickoff. It's not fun to deal with.
You need like a little box to put this computer into.
It'll be easier after the time change. So the sound level's good and everything. I don't know how we do it with the new system.
Check, check, check. Oh yeah,
Normally we used to balance it to the person. I don't know if we still want to do that here.
possible. I want to try to keep this as close to me as possible because if you guys get too loud, I don't want you to have to worry about turning it down.
Yeah, good call.
Which excitement is always good. That's good. Check, check, check. Check, check, check.
Okay. Let's move that to a more hospitable location. Nothing personal, but I've seen too many things go wrong with uncapped beverages. Whatever keeps you sharp.
I like your thought process.
All right, I can't hear anything anymore. Is that on purpose? Yeah, this is just for the headset volumes, and these adjust the actual levels here.
Check, check, check.
Make sure you get it with Ed actually talking too.
Hey, can you talk a little bit in here? I'm going to put mine on and make sure that everything is good.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Are we doing pre-games? I'm not sure how the new system works, so
They want you to do like 5 minutes, and then we go to like a break for like the national anthem and stuff.
Am I supposed to hear you? No?
Unless you want me to. It could be a 3-minute.
Well, with that attitude, yeah.
I could be like the Ron Jaworski of your guys' broadcast.
I think we just have you sit there and at the most inopportune time, just bam, yeah. See if I can go run down and grab you some monsters before the game starts.
well, let's do this at.
It says 5 minutes prior to the pregame.
5 minutes prior.
I say we knock out a little pregame. I think we got sufficient notes here.
You want to go at the 5-minute mark then?
You hear me good?
I can hear you.
Right on.
All right. Is there anything you need to do on your end to start the pregame? It's already streaming? Okay. Okay, well, turn us live at the 5-minute mark. So like 40 seconds, okay? Yeah.
So you want to lead in with the history of the 7-year history so far of this and last year's shellacking?
I'm going to read through the opening, and then I'll just bounce it over to you.
Right on.
You guys are ready? Just point at me, and I'll click it, and then I'll tell you when to go.
Right on.
Welcome, Lancer fans and guests, to Lancer Stadium and Sweet Quickmar Field, home of the Carlsbad Lancers.
I wonder if we can open this. It's a little hot in here, man. I'm sweating. It's killing me.
Oh, let's do the pregame first.
There we go. There we go. Look at that. Huh?
Perfect. Okay. Ready? Hello and welcome to Friday Night Football on PlayOnSports.com. It's the PlayOnSports.com pregame show live from Carlsbad High School in Carlsbad, California. Beautiful North County. A pretty clear night here. Sun is setting in the west. I'm Andrew Lockhart with Ed Alcaraz, Alcaraz.
You got it right.
Ed
there.
Alcaraz on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Tonight's matchup features the visiting St. Augustine Saints against the host Carlsbad Lancers. Both teams have a 0-0 record coming in. This is the first game of the season, the first week. So, Ed, what can we look forward to from these two teams, both this game and this season?
I tell you, I don't know who's more excited here. The team in purple, which by not by accident, they both are. Purple and white, and we've got purple and gold for St. Augustine, purple and white for Carlsbad. What I think going into this game, and I'm excited here. Welcome to a new season. You know, we're here. We're fired up. We're ready to go. But I think the keys to coming into this 7-year rivalry between both of these teams is key for how the rest of the season is going to go. 39-0 last year in favor of Saints. The ball bounced their way, and they were able to turn that into a 9-2 season, 4-1 league. Carlsbad, on the other hand, ended up finishing 7-5, a little distant from, I think, the aspirations they set going in. Whole new year, whole new ball game, 2012 here. And I'll tell you what, these teams coming in are both fired up and pretty evenly matched, even though you're gonna side, most people will side with St. Augustine being ranked number 9 going into to this first game of the season.
And we have some coaching changes on the Carlsbad side.
Well, you've got Carlsbad alum Tad McNeil making his debut as Lancers coach. And that should be key for the Lancers. I was able to just kind of walk around in pregame here, and there's just an electricity down there on the field. These guys are ready to go. They want to make this a good transition here for Coach McNeil, and hopefully they can come away with a win here at home.
Also,
they're opening up against this tough
an
Saints
alumnus team. Of Carlsbad, too, I believe.
That he is. He is an alumni of.
So a clean slate for both teams coming into this season. High hopes on both sides. A bitter rivalry to open the season for both. Both teams looking to get the win, avoid the loss. And that'll do it for tonight's PlayOnSports.com pregame show. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a few minutes. Friday night football begins next on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Is this your first time with the company? Okay.
I've done producing before, but everyone's just a little bit different.
Well, just so you know, at halftime, we like to eat. So we're probably going to sit down to 40 minutes and grab a burger, you know.
All right.
Switch out.
As long as it's not too far away and I can get back for the start, that's cool.
Number 77, Vince Barone.
You're not going to want to work with us again.
215 pounds, senior linebacker.
We're going to get the arm, but I think I've got a whole bunch of new guys.
Leo Marin.
I'd rather be with the experienced
And
guys.
the rest of the Carlsbad.
We got a lot of new people, though.
Yeah. How long have you guys been with them?
It's my third season. Yeah.
This is my third. The first game sweaty as much as I'm.
It's been an unseasonably hot and humid this year.
You'll note the contrasting styles. Andrew usually knows what he's talking about. And I
mean, you don't?
pretty much don't.
Okay.
I lose sight of whatever, you know, if a seagull goes flying by, you'll lose me for about a quarter.
All right.
None of this is true. Oh, that sounds perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand and remove your caps? The flag is at the north end of the field. Performing the national anthem tonight is the Carlsbad High Lancer Marching Band with Adam Bovey conductor.
Let's give it a minute or so here.
The change names, guys, as always.
Welcome back to Friday Night Football on PlayOnSports.com. We're coming to you live from beautiful Carlsbad, California. I'm Andrew Lockhart. Ed Alcaraz is here with me on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Tonight's matchup, we have the St. Augustine Saints. They're visiting the Carlsbad Lancers here in Carlsbad High School. Beautiful facilities they have set up for us here. Kickoff is about to begin. We have the St. Augustine Saints there in the white shirts, gold caps. They're kicking off to the all-purple Lancers. Kickoff goes to about the 5-yard line, brought up to the 15 in their own zone. So Carlsbad, they'll be going from the left side of your screen towards the right side. Ed, we were talking in the pregame. It's a clean slate for both teams. Talking to the coaches before the game, what are the keys for both teams going forward?
Well, before we get to that, it was brought out to the 16-yard line by Aaron Dorsett, one of the captains, number 34, for the Lancers. For the Lancers, I think they need to strike early, and they need to show this St. Augustine team that they mean business, and they're going to try to stay in this ballgame.
Christian Chapman, he's the quarterback for the Lancers. He'll take it back, handed it off. Going toward the far side of your screen, he's brought down at right around the 20-yard line. The ball carrier was Sean Cameron, number 23.
And coming up to make the stop there on the far side, defensive back Elijah Preston, number 20. And there, Carlsbad shows that you got to set the ground game first and possibly set up the pass afterwards.
Short gain of 3 yards. It is the second down, 7 to go. Carlsbad breaks their huddle and sets up at the line. Exciting season for both teams, both running good programs, and like you mentioned, Ed, rivals for a while. Thrown short onto the near side, brought down at about the 26-yard line. Great pass from Christian Chapman.
And there you got coming up to make the stop, the junior linebacker, number 81, Ethan Sanchez. And as you were mentioning, the keys to the ball game for both teams. For St. Augustine, I was able to talk a little bit there with Coach Sanchez, and he feels that they got to control both sides of the ball. They've got to be able to control that line of scrimmage. That's very important. In addition, their first offensive possession, they want to be able to set some kind of tempo that'll lead pretty much throughout this ball game for the Saints.
Carlsbad picked up the first down on that play. So the first down at the 27-yard line. Chapman goes back. They'll hand it off once again, and it looks like, again, the ball carrier is going to be Sean Cameron. He's brought down, gain of about 3 yards.
And there, just run right up the gut by the running back, and it was a replay of 2 plays ago with Elijah Preston, number 20, coming up to make the stop there for the Saints.
Early focused on the running game for the Lancers. We'll see if they go back to that play call now. Chapman is a junior, and he takes the snap now. A fake handoff, a deceit play, and it looks like they're going to gain some serious yardage. A running jump from number 34, Aaron Dorsett, the captain. We saw him take the kickoff, and a great sneak play, sort of a bootleg almost, on the near side of the field. Goes all the way to the 45-yard line, still in their own territory. Big gain on that play. First down for Carlsbad.
And there it looked on the near side that there was a flag thrown. Not the case, as Carlsbad, with a little trickery there, able to pick up another first down on the ground.
I think that flag might have actually been a handkerchief. Ball snapped Looks like they were trying to run another deceit play, and Cameron is brought down on that play. Looks like that's going to go for a loss of about 4 yards.
And that's one of the senior captains there, the linebacker, Ryan Herberger, number 34. Stayed at home, waited for the running back to just come right into his arms. And it played out perfectly there for the Saints defense. As there's going to be a loss here on second down for the Lancers.
Chapman now. He'll start from the shotgun. It's 2nd and 14. Quick play up the middle. Couldn't make the completion to Hayden Mortimer, the intended receiver.
And there, not so much a trick play as previously a couple of plays ago there. Just looking to dump it off over the middle with the momentum coming to the near side. Quarterback had a guy sneaking over the middle, looking to go to the far side, unable to hold on to the ball. It's going to bring up third down here for the Lancers.
It's 3rd and 14. They have a long ways to go. 9 minutes and 8 seconds left on the clock, still in their own territory at the 41-yard line. Snap is back. Chapman takes it. He's looking for a receiver. Throws deep. He's got a wide open man at the 30-yard line. Completion's made. He's got no one on him. He's running. He's clearly in. That's Tyler Creighton, the receiver on that play. A defensive miscue by the Saints. And Carlsbad capitalizes. They're going to go up 6-0 here in the first quarter.
There you've got just a good old simple pitch and catch from the quarterback to the wide receiver. Thrown just more of a kind of a pop fly out there as he had the pressure coming, the quarterback. Wide receiver waited for it, was able to make the catch. And then it was a sprint to the end zone from about the 30-yard line, the Saints' 30-yard line into the end zone. But Carlsbad here on the board first with a long touchdown.
Tyler Creighton, the senior wide receiver, he was, well, as the name implies, he was wide open. No one on him. Oh, the kick is off, and it is looks like it was not able to get a handle on it. The placeholder, though, Evan Gaspari, looks like he couldn't get the handle on that play, set it up for the kick, so it'll be 6-0 Carlsbad here on PlayOnSports.com.
Today's game is brought to you by California Printing Consultants, your one-stop printing source for all of your printing needs. Call CPC toll-free at 866-484-4039 or visit them online at cpcfirst.net for your next printing project. Also see CPC on the St. Augustine team page on PlayOnSports.com and click on the CPC icon. Online print buying has never been this easy.
6-0. Carlsbad Lancers with some aggressive play calling. That's a brand new coach, Tad McNeil, in his first season, a Carlsbad alumnus. Some innovative play calling from him and a wide open receiver. And Tyler Creighton, Chapman wasn't going to pass up that opportunity, a long pass. And so they go up 6-0 here in the first quarter of play.
And as we're awaiting the kickoff, this is actually Coach McNeil's second season, but I'm sure he still gets his giddy as if it were his first. Here as his team is up early, 6-0 over the 9th ranked in some local publications, St. Augustine Saints.
Kick is up. It's a deep one. It's going to go out of bounds, however.
And for those of you still learning the game, if the kickoff goes out of bounds without the receiving team's, anybody's hands on the receiving team, I should say, able to get their hands on it, that's going to draw a penalty. And that's going to bring the ball out to the 35-yard line. So now that we saw the trickery of the Lancers here with their first possession, let's see how the Saints come out and answer to the 6 points put up by Carlsbad.
So the Saints have possession of the ball now for the first time. They'll get their start at their own 35-yard line. Once again, they'll be going from the right side of your screen to the left. Handoff is fake. Quarterback in trouble. Manages to slide out of it, though. Gets the pass off. That was JoJo Hudson, the junior quarterback, getting the start for the Saints. He makes the pass over to his intended receiver. That was Ethan Sanchez, the junior on the Saints. He's brought down, though, at the 35. So it's going to be 2nd and 10, no gain for the Saints on that play.
And on that play, the pressure from the Lancers, front four, able to get to the quarterback, cause him to scramble out of the pocket and throw for no gain.
Hudson, no chance on that play. He's brought down swiftly. It's going to be 3rd and 10 now for the Saints with 8 minutes left on the clock in the first quarter.
And there you had the junior running back, part of that brother tandem with Captain Ryan Herberger, is number 24, Tyler Herberger, who's a running back / defensive back. They're tackled for the loss for the Saints.
Saints line up at the line of scrimmage. They've got Hudson making some calls, making sure his player's in the proper position here before taking the ball. Plays back, looks like Hudson's in trouble. He's got wrapped up, see if he can sneak out of it, and he's got way too much pressure on him, and he is down. That is another sack for Carlsbad. The Saints having some trouble early on here, Ed.
And I'll tell you right there, the junior, number 58, Damian Marizzi, able to get through the offensive line, get his hand on the quarterback, didn't let go, bringing him down for a 2-yard loss. And here for the Saints, this is not how they wanted to start off with their first possession, as they're going to punt with 14 yards to go for a first down, with the Lancers up by 6.
They'll have to punt it away. Some early miscues for the Saints offense. Also that miscue on the defense that cost them that first score against them. Punt is up about the 32-yard line of the Lancers territory. It's brought out by Dustin Lorenzen. He'll take it out to about the 40, short gain for him, and it's 6 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock here. Lancers will start at the 41-yard line. Still up by 6 points.
And there, you got to like the return, even though it wasn't a ton of yardage for the Lancers kick returner there, but it puts them in a pretty good position. They're not backed up. They're not backed up against the wall of the end zone there. It's Dustin Lorenz giving them some breathing room here on their second offensive possession.
Chapman's going to hand it off. He's got Cameron once again. He's going to slug it out and get about 5 yards on that play.
Well, no trickery there, just a handoff to the running back as he makes it out almost just a few yards short of midfield. And the one thing we've seen so far from this Lancers offense is they're going to come right at the Saints defense. They've done it by the air, they've done it on the ground. And so far, large percentage of their plays have resulted in positive yardage.
Clock crosses 6 minutes left in the first quarter. Here's Chapman. He'll hand it off once again to Cameron. Cameron's going to plow right up the middle once again. It looks like they've found their stride a little bit here, Ed.
I'll tell you, if something's working, especially this early against this great of a defense, you don't mess with it. As they pick up a first down on the ground, as they break into Saints territory at the 48-yard line.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it looks like they've found the key to breaking through the Saints offense early on here. St. Augustine unable to get run coverage on Cameron these last few cycles.
I'm telling you right now, they may be tentative from that long pass play that resulted in the score on the previous possession for the Lancers. Might have them a little bit back on their heels, but you can't be ranked number 9 without being able to make adjustments.
Finally managed to shut down Cameron, only picking up maybe a yard or two on that play. Looks like it's going to be 2nd and 9. Excuse me, 2nd and 8. 5 minutes left on the clock now.
Well, there, just a little 2-yard run. The Saints able to kind of close that door a little faster on the running game. I think it was a little generous on that as far as giving them 2 yards, but they're closer to the field than we are, even though we got a great vantage point here.
And they do an excellent job, the referees. You always want to give them credit. Chapman has a man in motion. Off to his side, goes back, looks for the pass. It comes up just a little bit short, a little bit underthrown. The intended receiver was Aaron Dorsett.
And there Chapman just almost one-hopped his intended receiver there. But if he was able to get that complete off, there was at least 5 yards. Number 34 would have had to turn up the field and pick up a first down for his offense. Not the case, as it's going to bring up 3rd and long here for Carlsbad.
This is where we saw Carlsbad shine on their scoring drive. Huge pass from Chapman to Creighton. Chapman goes back, finds an open man. He doesn't have a lot of real estate. He's going to find a hole, though. That's Creighton once again. The Chapman-Creighton Express working its magic once again on a 3rd down. They'll easily pick up the 3rd down. Huge pass from Chapman to Creighton.
And one of the things I was about to say right before the snap is if you're the Saints secondary coach, even the Saints secondary, you got to be thinking, okay, let's keep this play in front of us. There they had the possibility of doing it. It looked like it was just going to be a quick little dump pass over the middle, maybe enough to try to pick up the first down. Creighton had other ideas, turned it back outside for a large gain as he's got him inside the 25 here with a fresh set of downs for the Lancers.
So they'll be at the Saints' 24-yard line. Chapman will hand it off to Cameron once again. Cameron's going to be brought down, maybe a yard gain on that play.
Well, there, if you're St. Augustine, and that was Quinn Seau, the freshman linebacker, with a host of others there to make the stop and keep it to a 2-yard gain. But as I was saying, if you're the Saints defense right now, you've got to, as I said, keep the plays in front of you. You don't have much yardage behind you, and you definitely don't want to be down by 2 scores with still some time here in the first quarter. If you're Carlsbad, there's no rush. You're able to get some success on the ground and in the air, but more so on the ground where you're able to keep the clock moving, especially if you've got possession. That's a good thing. It looks like here they're going to take a timeout. Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups, like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the Play on Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all of their games and activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
And you know, Ed, we have 3:27 left on the clock here during the timeout. St. Augustine had a lot of turnover from the squad they fielded last season versus the team they have right now. They had a lot of senior leaders leave the team and go on to bigger and better things. But you think a lot of the miscues early on here might be because so many players turned over.
Well, because you're not allotted the same amount of time at higher levels of this game of being football at the junior college, and pro levels, you're not allotted a lot of time ahead of the schedules that you got to play, the games you got to play, to really get acquainted and get your systems up and running as you would like them to do. So now that you're absolutely right. There's a lot of how you doing, who are you, I'm this so-and-so, you're so-and-so, a lot of handshaking, but now they're in the real games and this counts, so they better make their acquaintance quick.
Chapman faked a pass. Looked over to his right, found his intended receiver. He gets it off to Jordan Richmond, and he's going to be just short of the touchdown. He's brought down. Looks like they're going to get their start at the 1-yard line with a first down. There's still 3:18 left on the clock.
I tell you right there, a valiant effort by the receiver there. Jordan Richmond, the junior wide receiver, heck of an effort to try to get into the end zone. He was pinballed between 2 defenders. And the referees, despite his great effort of trying to jump in there, are going to say that he came up just short, but not really to worry. This is a great position for Carlsbad to be in, as they've got first down here on the scoreboard and 4 cracks at trying to get this ball in from less than a foot away.
And they've got the metaphorical wind behind their backs, not literally. Chapman, he's going to hand it off. It's a bulldozer play. See if they can sneak it in.
And I tell you, the line judge is coming up from the far side, and he looks a little bit short of the goal line there. It doesn't look like they were able to gain much.
No, short gain, if that. Good stand there by the Saints defense.
And I tell you, Chase Austin is no small guy to bring down at 6'2", 220 as they handed off the ball to him. But the defense there for the Saints keyed on the ball carrier, and I think that was more than anything. Knowing in these kind of situations, it's more of a high percentage that you're going to try to punch it in on the ground and try to put the ball up in the air and risk an interception going all the way back the other way.
Chapman's going to try and sneak it in himself, and he makes it in. Chapman with the QB sneak into the touchdown zone, so that's going to be another 6 points for Carlsbad. We have 2 minutes, 3 seconds left on the clock. Lancers, they're up 12-0 over the Saints.
Well, there the quarterback decided, I'm not pitching this ball off to anybody. I'll go ahead and take it behind the push of my offensive line, and they gave him a great push as he was brought down about halfway through the end zone. He puts his team up by 12 with a chance of making it 13 here with the extra point. And what we've seen so far out of this Carlsbad offense is they're going to do it on their terms. They're going to set the tempo. And so far here, with 2:03 to go in the first quarter, they definitely have, as they're up by 2 scores.
Extra point attempt. Kick is up, and that will easily split the upright, so they make the extra point attempt on the second go-around. So it's going to be 13-0 Lancers with 2 minutes left in the first quarter of play.
Play On Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at Play On Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/playonnetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com.
And playonsports.com, we're bringing you all sorts of high school football action on this Friday night from all around San Diego County. So tune in on playonsports.com. Catch all the great games that is here tonight. Sun sets in the west. Beautiful North County sunset. Tinge of red in the sky. It's a beautiful night here in Carlsbad.
Well, I tell you what, it's a beautiful night up and down the coast here, but particularly here for the people that came to watch this ball game that are rooting for the home team, the Lancers, as they're up 13-0 with still a few ticks to go here in the first quarter.
And we should mention that, too, that Carlsbad really sports a good crowd, as do the Saints. And the Saints crowd does travel, will travel. And we have 2 exuberant audiences for this game here tonight. Carlsbad, the kick is off from the 40-yard tick. It's going to drop down, and he's brought down right at the 15-yard line. That was a great tackle there from, it looked like that was Dustin Lorenzen for Carlsbad bringing down his man.
And the man that he brought down was Elijah Preston, the freshman punt returner, 5'5", all 175 pounds of him. He had a lot of room once he got the ball, I'd say close to the 10-yard line. He looked to turn it up and go to the far side of the field, and the return coverage for the Lancers showed up as they're going to have the Saints start inside their 20-yard line.
So they're going to get their start with less than 2 minutes, about 1 minute and 57 seconds left on the clock. Quarterback is Hudson for the Saints. He's going to hand it off to his right side, brought into the middle of the play. Looks like that was Tyler Herberger, part of the Herberger tandem.
And there you had big defensive lineman, the senior, 5'10", 270 pounds, Ricky Garcia, number 78.
It's going to be 2nd and 5.
Closing the hole there, but not before. The Saints were able to pick up 5 there on that push for the running back.
Good run by Herberger. Hudson checks his men. Hands it off once again, this time to his left side. Brought down is Herberger. That is Tyler Herberger. He's going to get a short gain on that play. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and 2.
And so far here in this first quarter, we've seen various players come up and make tackles for this Lancers defense. And we're going to call a new name here so far for the first time here tonight. Number 17, Zach Allen, the junior defensive back, coming up and keeping the Saints from picking up a first down.
Less than a minute winding down on the clock. 3rd and 2. They're at their 25-yard line. Hudson, there's a flag up in the air. He's going to hand it off the middle once again. That's well enough for the first down. Looks like Tyler Herberger once again. He got to about the 28-yard line.
And without hesitation, the Saints knew they were the guilty party there, as they're going to get called for the false start, and that's going to march them back.
It's going to cost them. They've had trouble just advancing that ball in general in this game. Not a whole lot of damage done offensively in the first quarter with 33 seconds left.
And what would have been a first down on the ground for St. Augustine turns into a 3rd and long, as we're under 30 seconds here in the first quarter.
Hudson's taking his time. Finally takes this snap. Had some pressure, ducks it. Gets tossed up though, tried to run it himself far on the far side of your screen, that is, far side of the field, and he is brought down, so it looks like they're gonna have to punt it away. Time is up on the first quarter though, so Carlsbad Lancers, they'll still be up 13-0 over the St. Augustine Saints at the end of the first quarter of play.
PlayOnSports.com is not your only destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school football playoffs and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here. And on that last play there, the Saints looking to close out the first quarter, 3rd and long. Hudson he took the snap, looked around, didn't see anything he liked, flushed out of the pocket, was forced to the far side, and was brought down well short of the first down by number 81, Leo Marin Jr., the linebacker, the senior linebacker, I should say, was able to bring him down. And as we start off this second quarter, it's going to be the Saints punting the ball back to the host Lancers, who are up here to start this second quarter, 13-0.
Game not going as scripted as you would think coming into this, but still early in the season, still early in the game. Just some costly errors, both offensively and defensively, for the St. Augustine Saints that have put them in this position. They're going to have to punt it away now. Looks like it's going to be the punter, Joe Maloof. He's a senior. Saints now on the left side of your screen. They'll be punting towards the right. Kick is up. Maloof almost got some pressure on him there. And that is recovered by Carlsbad. It took a funny bounce, and it was picked up by Langdon Glapp, the captain, one of the captains at least, on Carlsbad. Took a funny bounce in Carlsbad's favor. He managed to pick that up and drive it all the way to the 35-yard line in the Saints zone. It's not a very big punt, and bad bounce for St. Augustine.
Well, you've got to like the speed and the focus of the team that was punting, which were the Saints in this case, as they kind of overran. The coverage kind of went past where the ball ended up. And the alert punt returner for the Lancers picked it up. And he's got his team starting from around a 35 here with their first possession of the second quarter.
Clapp, I don't think was intended to receive that punt, but he got it anyway. So now we see Chapman out once again for Carlsbad. He takes this snap, fakes a throw, hands it off, and it's fumbled by Cameron. It's going to be recovered. Oh, not recovered by the Saints. Maybe it is. I can't tell who's on the bottom of that pile. Cameron, though, looks like he had a man just pop the ball out of his hands on the carry. And it's going to be recovered by the Saints. So the Saints are going to have it at their own 20-yard line. Finally, a break for the Saints.
Well, that was the captain, senior linebacker, Ryan Herberger. They're able to jump on the ball. That was popped away from the Lancers running back. It bounced around. And now, even though they're starting off here down by 13, the Saints needed that break. So they're going to start here from their own 20-yard line.
See if they have a little more success moving the ball, as they have not had that success earlier in this game. 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. Hudson takes it. Can't find anybody open. He's got pressure, and he's just going to pitch that one away off towards the near side of your screen. There's a flag on the play, however.
One of the possibilities could be that he wasn't out of the pocket. But that's not going to be the case. It's going to be against the Lancers. But there on that play, the pressure that was brought from the throwing side by Carlsbad towards Hudson. He was unfortunately had to scramble to his right side and just kind of throw it away here for St. Augustine.
And the Lancers have done an excellent job applying pressure to Hudson in this game.
And Hudson, known for his scrambling ability, has pretty much been shut down so far here in this ball game.
Hudson still got pressure on him. He manages to get that ball off, though, not quite where he wanted to place it. He was trying to hit Tyler Herberger. Couldn't come up with, though. There's 11:25 left in the second quarter.
And they're on that play, able to get penetration, I should say. Number 33, Rafael Sanjeans, the junior defensive lineman, pretty much untouched en route to the quarterback, forcing a throw there that fell short, off the hands, I should say, of the running back. It's going to bring up 2nd and 15 here for the Saints. And it just seems they're unable to get into any sort of rhythm. And you've got to credit the defense here so far for Carlsbad, as they've been aggressive.
They've been aggressive and they've been stifling. So now it's 2nd and 15 for the Saints. Hudson, a man in motion behind him. That's Frank Buncombe the fourth. Ball is handed off. He's got a lot of room. This could be what the Saints are looking for. He's got space near the near side. He's going to go all the way close to the 40-yard line in Carlsbad territory. My goodness, what a run. That was Elijah Preston. Preston, only a freshman, stands 5'5". He's not a big guy, but he's got a lot of speed, Ed.
And I'll tell you, that on the 2 longest plays of this ball game so far, Jordan Richmond has been a part of. One, in scoring that touchdown through the air as a wide receiver, and then there as a defender, being able to kind of corner off the running back after a huge gain there, but keeping him from the end zone, which is always a positive there. And with 11:13 here to go, the Saints are knocking as they are in Lancers territory for the first time.
False start. I think that's going to be against the Saints, and yes, it is. So that's going to cost them after that great play. Bad break for the Saints.
Well, this isn't what you want to see, a negative after such a huge positive. But once again, it's the first game of the season. A lot of these guys are still getting acquainted with the guys next to them. In time, hopefully they're able to gel a little bit better than they were there in that play. Just going to set them back another 5 yards.
Saints start from Carlsbad's 49-yard line. Hand it off to Cameron. Cameron's going to pick up about 5 yards. They'll call it at the 46. So a gain for the Saints. 11 minutes left on the clock in the second quarter of play. 2nd down and 12 to go.
Well, there, any yardage you can get was positive yardage. They would have liked it to be a little bit more. But taking a page from the Lancers offense, they handed it off to the running back. And he went right behind the center. He was able to pick up 3 on that play.
Excuse me, that was Herberger, not Cameron. Hudson hands it off to Tyler Herberger, the aforementioned, once again, and he's going to be brought down at the 35. It's going to be about a yard short of the first down.
And I tell you, if you're a defensive coordinator, one of your nightmares has to be when the opposing running back is brought down in your secondary. And there, what we just touted as a great defense so far here in this ball game for the Lancers, starting to show a little bit of hold.
They've crumbled on the last few plays. Herberger's found penetration, and he's going to find it a little bit right there. Looks like he's going to come up. He's got enough for the first down, so it's going to be first down for the Saints. They haven't had that many on offense here this game, Ed.
And they're kind of steering clear. I think they're going more with the approach that they do have a mobile quarterback back there who can throw. We have seen him put the ball up. He's got a little zip on his pass, but I think they're more comfortable in letting this line just kind of make a push and allowing the quarterback to be able to pitch off to the running back. He's checked off a few times, but it's always coming back to the running plays here for the Saints. 1st
and 10, the opposing 34. Fake handoff to Herberger. Hudson's going to throw it, almost intercepted, and it does get intercepted. Sort of an acrobatic catch to pull that one out of the air. That was Carlsbad's player. That was number 39, Darren Mack, who came up with that one, the senior for the Lancers.
Darren Mack there stepped in front of the receiver. That ball looked like it was just kind of going to be kind of short anyway, and had his own version of a tip drill. As he tipped it up, was able to get it back to himself and prevent any momentum that the Saints had. He took it away and is giving the ball back to his offense. And I feel like I kind of jinxed Hudson there because I just said that he was getting comfortable in running the offense through the running game. He puts up a pass, and of course it's on the play that I just happened to mention. That
I think you made him uncomfortable.
So maybe we ought to turn down the volume here when he's on offense.
hand it off. It looks like that's going to be number 34 on Carlsbad. That's Aaron Dorsett, one of the captains. We've seen him make a couple big plays for his team this game.
Well, he's kind of not had his name called, I'd say, the last half a dozen or so plays, but prior to that, he was the bread and butter for this offense for Carlsbad. And now they're kind of going back to him. Maybe they gave him a little bit of a rest here with a little bit of a lead. You don't have to rely too much on him, but as we had mentioned before, if something's working, it's going well, you stay with it. And they showed that they're going to do that. They pitched it to number 34, one of the captains.
9 flat on the clock here. Play is whistled. Timeout is called. It's the Lancers will take a timeout here. So we have a score of the Lancers up 13-0 over the St. Augustine Saints. 9 minutes left on the clock in the second quarter of play here in Carlsbad, California.
Once again, I'm going to go ahead and let you know that today's game is brought to you by California Printing Consultants, your one-stop printing source for all of your printing needs. Call CPC toll-free at 866-484-4039 or visit them online at cpcfirst.net for your next big printing project. Also, see CPC on the St. Augustine team page on playonsports.com and click on the CPC icon. Online print buying has never been this easy.
CHS, Carlsbad High School, here in Carlsbad, California. Beautiful city on the coast. Here in San Diego County, North County, that is. The sun has set. There's a little bit of orange left hiding in the background. It's fading fast, though. We advance into tonight. Carlsbad Lancers, they've been dominant in the first half of play. There's still 9 minutes left on the clock, however. Intercepted pass coming from the Saints. Carlsbad recovered. Now at their own 15-yard line. 2nd and 7. Chapman is going to take the ball for his team. Fakes a handoff, looks to his right, finds his intended receiver. Had a lot of room. He makes a good run of it, and he's going to be brought down at about the 25-yard line. That'll be easily the first down there. That was caught by Aaron Dorsett once again.
And I think from now on, for the rest of this game, we're going to refer to that guy as the bread and butter of this offense. As he stepped up and took that pass, they were able to stretch the offense out. They got man-to-man coverage on the outside on both sides. Able to stretch the offense out, had Dorsett sneak in from underneath, pick up the pass and pick up a first down here. A little bit of breathing room as they're able to crack the 25-yard line here on first down.
Chapman's going to hand it off to Cameron. He's going to get tied around the ankles, though, and brought down.
And I'll tell you there, Mitch Cohen able to make the stop, and it's a good thing that he did, because as the running back was able to kind of pin ball off of the first defender, he was brought down by a shoestring tackle there by Cohen. And had that not been the case, coming to the near side, he had a lot of green in front of him with blockers a little bit farther down, and that might have been really bad for the Saints. Already down here, 2 scores in the second quarter.
Cameron picked up about 4 yards, so it's going to be 2nd and 6 now. Lancers have less than 8 minutes on the clock, about 7:50. Chapman's going to take the snap. He's looking deep, didn't like what he saw, and he's brought down. That's going to be a sack for St. Augustine.
And there the pressure was brought by the front four, as the Saints' front four, able to beat the Lancers' front five. And getting in there is a name that we've called here a half a dozen times so far, Ryan Herberger, the captain. And this time we're going to call him as a linebacker, as he was able to get in and make the sack.
We've seen Herbergers all over the field tonight, Ed.
I tell you, there's only 11 positions allowed on the field, and it just seems like at some point or another, there are 11 Herbergers out there. Or at least they're playing like it, so you got to like the effort from the brother tandem for St. Augustine.
3rd down, 12 yards to go now for Carlsbad. Less than 7 minutes. Chapman's going to take it from the shotgun. He's looking deep. About a 20-yard pass. The intended receiver was Gaspari. Overthrown just a bit, though, so it's going to be 4th down. They'll likely punt this one away.
Looks like they're going to go ahead and with the safe bet just to get the ball out of their territory. Kick it back into to Saints territory. And with a few ticks under 7 minutes here to go in this second quarter, that seems to be the wise move. And there in that 20-yard pass from the quarterback for an incomplete. It was a 20-yard pass, and his receiver was about 19.5 yards from the line of scrimmage, as it was just out of the reach of the 5'9" wide receiver there, as he wasn't able to come up with it.
Punt is up. Oh, he had some pressure on him. Went a little shorter. I think he was foreseeing the Saints
I'll tell you
player
right
making
there,
contact.
It looks like the Saints player, as luckily the Saints are able to come back up or able to recover the ball. And there was a move there by one of the Saints players. Carlsbad had the ball pretty much cornered from every side. Comes diving in to try to pick it up. There was a scramble. Once he touches it, that's a live ball. And there was a scramble, and what was a punt turns out to just be another first down here for the Lancers.
That's another costly error by the Saints. We've seen a lot of them in this first half of play. That's not a good start for their season. Still plenty of ball left to play, though, and we got a half coming up that they might have a chance to settle in. Right now, they have 6.5 minutes left on the clock in the first half of play. They're going to look to shut down the Carlsbad offensive drive. They did on the last drive. Chapman, he hands it off once again to Cameron. Cameron's going to drive it up. He muscles his way through. He really fought for that yardage, Ed.
I tell you right now, he was shot like a torpedo and then kind of stopped behind a wall of white and purple jerseys. But there was no whistle blown as his feet were still pumping, and that's what you teach your running backs. Keep your feet moving. And there the running back was able to do it, and he was able to come up with a 7-yard gain on first down, keep the clock moving, and the ball in the hands of the Lancers offense.
So they'll only have 3 yards for the first. Looks like they're at the 47-yard line in their own territory. Plenty of time left on that clock to make this drive count. Chapman takes the snap, and he's going to hand it off up the middle once again. It looks like Cameron's going to get another good drive out of that. It's going to be another first down for the Carlsbad Lancers.
And there, we have the side view, so we don't really see how big these gaps are in between the linemen there. But I tell you what, it doesn't matter if they're a half a foot or if they're 4 feet big. The running backs for the Lancers are able to just squeak through, and they're not picking up 2 yards, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. They're cutting through for 6, 7, 8-yard gains here.
And Cameron steps off the field, hopefully not an injury, maybe just a little bit of exhaustion there. He has been hit pretty hard by the Saints defense so far in this game. So Chapman's still out there. He's going to hand it off. Brought down in the backfield. The runner was Lorenzen. 5 minutes left on the clock. It's going to be a loss of 3 yards there.
And that was a familiar name. Ryan Herberger there, able to burst into the backfield and keep that play from developing into anything more than what's going to turn out to be a loss here on the ground for the Lancers.
Sorry, a loss of 2 yards, so it's going to be 2nd and 12, and they're going to be placed back at the 46-yard line. 47-yard line. They're still in Saints territory, however. 4 minutes and 35 seconds left on the clock.
And there was the linebacker play that helped carry Saints last year.
Chapman goes deep through the hands of the sprawling Jordan Richmond. Had his hands up in the air doing a jumping jack to catch that ball, but it splits the uprights.
A little bit of aerobics there as he wasn't able to come down with the ball. And luckily for Carlsbad, there was a defender behind the play, but a little bit out of position as it fell incomplete out of everybody's hands. And it's going to go ahead and bring up 3rd and long here for Carlsbad.
I imagine they'll go for the passing play once again. We've seen them have success on 3rd downs with a long pass play. Secondary coverage for the Saints has been a question mark early on for them. And Chapman is in the shotgun. He's got a lot of pressure, though. Pass gets off. It is not completed, however. That'll fall to the ground. Incomplete pass, so it's going to be 4th down. They'll likely punt this away. Saints are going to have another opportunity to make an offensive drive here with 4 minutes and 19 seconds left on the clock. Lancers are still up 13-0.
And there on the blitz, linebacker, the junior linebacker, number 10, Josh Davis. As we talked about, a lot of these Saints players are introducing themselves amongst their own teammates. There, he introduced himself to the quarterback
A pleasant how do you do. Punt is up and off. It's going to be a tall, but a little bit short. It's going to drop right around the 23-yard line and bounce out of play. So it's going to be started right around the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. That's where the Saints will get their start with 4 minutes, 10 seconds left on the clock. 13-0. Carlsbad High School is still up over the Saints.
You want to watch more of your school's great matchups, like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the Play On Sports broadcast program. The program allows schools to broadcast all of their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Looks like they'll call that at the 25-yard line. That's where the Saints will get their start. Hudson's out there. He's captaining the Saints offense. Goes back, he's got the handoff. He finds his man. That's Herberger once again. He goes towards the far side of the screen. He's brought down for a short gain.
There, a play that was designed to go kind of off left tackle there. Running back was able to bounce it out a little bit farther. Pick up 2. But once again, one of the familiar themes so far here for this Lancers defense, they had a player in position to make the tackle and keep the gains of the Saints offense to a minimum.
Hudson pass in the backfield, finds Buncombe the 4th. He's going to be brought down. He's going to roll a little bit. Looks like he ends up right around the 34-yard line. That's where they're going to call it. So it's going to be second, excuse me.
And they're on the tackle, number 17, Zach Allen, the junior defensive back, able to come up.
3rd and 2. Excuse me, 3rd and 1 with 3 minutes left on the clock. 3:10 that is.
And I think going forward, aside from the obvious goal here to try to get into the end zone or put some kind of points on the board here for Saints, you want to pick up the immediate need right here is to pick up the first down.
Timeout is called by the Saints, so we're going to take a quick break here. Time winding down in the second half of play. Carlsbad High School, they're still up 13-0 over St. Augustine.
Play On Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at Play On Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/playonnetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com.
A lot of our content is on YouTube, and it's a great place just to check out highlights and keep up with your favorite teams around the section and elsewhere in the state. We're broadcasting from seemingly all over the globe now, Ed.
I tell you, global domination is definitely...
It's on the horizon.
It is, and we're happy to be a part of it here, as we've got ourselves a great ball game. You couldn't ask for a better matchup, as you've got the backdrop here, as the sun has pretty much disappeared, but it's left a trail into that beautiful sky. And I tell you what, some of the best weather in the world here in San Diego, and you got high school football starting up again. I tell you, there aren't many places I would rather be right now, and especially with so far what's turning out to be a mild upset with Carlsbad up by 2 scores over the 9th-ranked St. Augustine Saints.
I can give you a list of places I'd rather not be, but I won't dally in that direction. So we have Hudson here with 3 minutes left on the clock. He's going to go with Herberger once again. Herberger's got a lot of hands on him, though, and he's going to be brought down pretty heavily. It's going to be short of the first down, I believe. Yeah, I think they're going to call that about a yard short. 2:46 left on the clock. I think they'll give it one more chance here. Oh, it looks like they are going to give him that first down. I think they're going to measure it, actually. Yep, they got the sticks out there.
And this is going to be a close call here.
Chain Gangs takes to the middle of the field. I agree with you, Ed. It's going to be pretty close.
Unfortunately, we can't really see the spot.
Our view is a bit obstructed. It looks like he's holding up about 3 inches short, though. It's going to be 4th and inches to go. Interesting position for the Saints to be in to see if they're going to go for it.
And so far here, the biggest test for this Saints team is if you don't make it, you're going to hand the ball over to Carlsbad inside your territory with a few minutes to go here in the first half.
Saints are going to roll the dice. 2:40 left on the clock. Hudson takes the snap. He's going to run it forward himself, and he's going to make it. So the Saints pick up that big first down.
There's hands pointing left. There's hands pointing right.
Well,
they're thinking that ball got out of there.
I may have called it prematurely, but it's like some controversy on the field. They're digging through the dog pile. See which dog is on the bottom.
Well, we've got the Lancers backing up, so it looks like it was all for naught. Theatrics, if you would.
Langdon Lapp still disagrees with the call on the field.
They're going to go ahead and allow the Saints to keep possession here as they do pick up the first down, the quarterback keeper.
So it's going to be 1st and 10. They are on the 36-yard line of their own territory. Big first down there for the Saints. Hudson fakes it to Herberger, gets a pass off, and play is just called by Carlsbad. They had the Saints number on that play.
I tell you, some of the fundamentals here. Oh, we got a flag on the play. Maybe the guys down there just getting a little bit too aggressive. Let's see what they're going to go ahead and call on this.
Austin Hyatt, the offensive lineman, he lost his cap. I'm not sure if that was involved in the flag that was thrown.
Holding on the offense there.
It's going to be matching calls, I believe. Looks like the referees are still figuring out for themselves what they're going to do here.
Yep, and if you've got offsetting penalties, that football doesn't move from the previous spot. But
Oh. Well, they take the ball back, and then they take the ball forward. And it looks like it will be a net gain for the Saints. So they'll be at the 41-yard line, still in their own territory.
And we're going to get a personal foul called on the Lancers there. And that's why we kind of did the 2 steps back, 3 steps forward here by the refs.
So 2 minutes left on the clock. Saints still with an opportunity here to make it a 1-score ball game going into the half. Time is winding down, though.
49 yards away from a possible touchdown and maybe 35, 40 yards away from throwing 3 on the board, but you'd rather go in with a number on there rather than that big 0.
Hudson, the left-hander, throws it deep and couldn't find his man. He was looking to connect way down the field to Ethan Sanchez, the junior wide receiver. Couldn't connect with him, though. Sanchez, a tall guy at 6'2".
Well, they got the matchup that they wanted out there as he was lined up out there with a defensive back, number 26, Mark Reyna, at 6 feet. He only conceded a few inches to the wide receiver, but all for naught as that pass was overthrown by at least a good 2-3 yards.
JoJo Hudson goes back, has pressure, makes a short pass right up the middle, and that gentleman takes off. That was his lineman, Pat Dixon. Looks like he's going to take it a little bit past half field, so into the Carlsbad Lancers territory they go at the 48-yard line. First down is gained, $1:25 left on the clock. Still down by 13 points, so the Saints with a chance to inch this score closer. That was Hudson. His pass looks like it might have had a hand on it going up. It didn't make it to the intended receiver. Again, he was looking for Ethan Sanchez, but couldn't find him on that pass.
On there, it looked like one of the front four for Carlsbad was able to get a paw on it. Made it look like a shot duck, kind of heading out to Sanchez there as it ended up about a yard or so from his feet.
I like that imagery, Ed. Minute 12, 2nd and 10. Still a lot of field left to cover. Saints have possession of the ball. They'll take the snap. Hudson has it. He looks deep, can't find anything, decides to run it up the middle himself. He's going to pick up a couple yards on that. It's going to be 3rd and about 8 with a minute winding off the clock. Timeout's going to be called, however, and that will be the Saints. So we'll take a quick break here. Ed, take it away.
Well, let's go ahead and pay some of the bills here and let you know that PlayOnSports.com is not your only destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here.
Lives and dies here, Ed.
And I tell you, and like that last pass, it looked like it was just dying there. We got to get well, not we, but if you're St. Augustine, you want to get Hudson into some kind of groove on throwing that pigskin around to a lot of his players. And he's got talent at his skill positions, as mentioned in several publications around town. The cupboard for the St. Augustine Saints was and is not bare, although they had a defection of 19 players from last year's team.
That's huge.
And despite that, they are one of these teams that for some reason or another, despite everything that happens during the regular season, always seems to be in the thick of the playoff race when all is said and done. As they got 3rd and 9 here with under a minute to go. And let's see if Hudson can move this ball either into field goal position or all the way to the end zone, which is 47 yards away.
57 seconds left on the clock. Hudson looks like he may have had trouble with it off the snap. Can't get it off, though. That looks like it was going to Sanchez once again. Sanchez couldn't hold on to it as he was streaking out of bounds. Looks like it's going to be 4th down, 51 seconds left on the clock. Saints see what they're going to do in this position. We saw them take a risky 4th down play earlier when it was 4th and inches. They did pick that one up. 4th and long, though. What do you do in this position, Ed?
Well, I was going to say that you got to punt the ball away. And sure enough, that is what they're going to go ahead and do. And I think if their thinking is if Carlsbad is able to get the ball back, and if they're able to pin him back in their own territory pretty deep, Carlsbad is going to take the conservative approach and just try to run out this clock. In addition, you're hoping that maybe, there's some butterfingers back there, and you might get the ball in great field position way down the field in Lancer's territory. Regardless of what we're thinking here, I got a feeling that there's 2 sidelines where there's at least another half a dozen ideas, if not more, going through the heads of these coaches.
Tad McNeil's had some interesting play calls in this game. He's shown some creativity with the playbook. And Carlsbad does take their time out right now.
And I tell you, so far here in this game, it seems that the roles have been reversed, with Carlsbad being the team with more of the confidence, with more of the swagger. But we still got an entire half to play, as we're 51.6 seconds away from halftime, giving these guys a refresher, if you would, just a quick break. Because so far here, this ball game is everything that's been advertised, with Carlsbad holding a 13-0 lead over the St. Augustine Saints.
Carlsbad side of the stands is standing room only. They bring in quite a crowd here. You're lucky if you can even find a home to stand on. It's a sea of purple on both sides. Saints side of the field is also well attended.
And that's been something I think for a number of years going back. The Saints crowd has always been good on the road. It's been good at home as they've played in some of the larger venues, Mason College.
Oh, yeah.
To name one, of the schools that they're able to put a lot of people into the seats.
I broadcast those games, and it gets loud and it gets rowdy, and it almost has a college football feel to it. So it's a great school, a great program they run at St. Augustine. And they're going to be punting it right now. Kick is off. That's Joe Maloof once again. Gets a good kick on it. Lands at about the 6-yard line. Carlsbad's going to make a run of it, though. A deep drive. They go to about their own 34-yard line. Great run there. That was Dustin Lorenzen. He's been good for the Carlsbad in this game so far. Picks up a big gain for his team. Clock sits at 38.5 seconds, though. They've got a lot of field to cover. See if Carlsbad can come up with some magic, Ed.
And I tell you there, Lorenzen had a great wedge. He had at least a good 5-6 yards to jet up the field, and he was almost able to break it into something more, but not to take anything away from his run as he's got his team out to the 34-yard line here with a little bit under 40 seconds to go here in the first half.
It's handed off. Pretty good run there. Looks like that was Cameron once again. He's going to drive it to about the 44-yard line. Yep, they'll call it at the 44. Still in his own territory. Carlsbad, 22 seconds, and we're still, clock is still running, that is. So we're going to have 15 seconds. They are just going to let that one run, though. I don't know why they wouldn't try to at least get one more play off. But so it is. So coming into halftime here, that'll wrap it up, and it's going to be Carlsbad, the Lancers. They've got 13 points, leading the St. Augustine Saints 13-0. And we're going to be back in a few moments, excuse me, with the PlayOnSports.com halftime show. Don't go anywhere. It's Friday Night Football on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports. Welcome to the PlayOnSports.com halftime show coming to you from Carlsbad. Carlsbad High School in beautiful Carlsbad, California. Our halftime score is CHS, that's Carlsbad High School. They're leading 13-0 over the St. Augustine Saints. And we had an interesting first half. Carlsbad definitely executed better than the St. Augustine Saints. The Saints had a lot of miscues, incomplete passes. Their offense and defense were both a little bit lackluster in the first half. Carlsbad did a better job executing, made some great offensive plays. Tyler Creighton was great, along with Chapman. Chapman set up Creighton beautifully. Scoring summary was Chapman with a great pass to Creighton, the aforementioned folks who have been getting it done for Carlsbad. That put them up 6-0 in the first quarter. They missed the extra point attempt, and then Chapman with a QB sneak with inches to go to the goal line put his team up 12-0, and the extra point put them up to 13, where we currently are right now. So Carlsbad leading the St. Augustine Saints 13-0 in the half. And that'll do it for PlayOnSports.com halftime show. Friday Night Football will return in just a few moments. Make that a couple quick moments with the start of the second half right here on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
Number 20, Elijah Preston, 8 for the Saints.
You're watching PlayOnSports.com's presentation of Friday Night Football live from Carlsbad High School. I'm Andrew Lockhart alongside Ed Alcaraz. The Carlsbad Lancers, they lead 13-0 over the St. Augustine Saints as we get ready to start the second half of action. That is the kickoff there. Carlsbad is kicking off to the Saints. The kickoff will, the play rather, will start from the 20-yard line in the Saints territory. If you're just joining us, the St. Augustine Saints are in the gold caps, white shirts. Carlsbad, they're in straight purple, flush from top to bottom, so we have a battle of the color purple here. St. Augustine, their quarterback, JoJo Hudson, he's going to hand it off to Herberger. Going to run towards the near side. Herberger with a pretty good run. Picks up about 5 yards for his team. That'll put them at the 25, 2nd and 5. Ed, what did you see in the first half from St. Augustine that you liked?
I like the fact that they're only down 13-0 despite the fact that they weren't able to muster much on offense, unable to find any kind of groove, but are well within striking distance to come back and pull out this ball game and take home a win.
That's true. They were outmatched just top to bottom, but they did manage to keep it a 2-score game. Herberger with another great run, this time up the middle, right down the pocket. He's going to pick up the first down, gain of about 7-8 yards there.
And there coming up to make the tackle, number 5, Langdon Lapp, one of the defensive captains here. Senior 5'11", 190, able to finally bring down number 24.
St. Augustine keeping it to a 2-score game, but we saw a lot of turnover between last season and this season. A lot of seniors departed the St. Augustine team, so maybe some errors as a result of that. That run is stuffed right up the middle. That was Hudson. He found Tyler Herberger once again. 10:46 left on the clock. It's going to be 3rd down.
And there you had number 40, James Carver, another team captain for the Lancers, linebacker / tight end, the junior, 6'1", 195, able to come up and make the stop on the running back. And the one thing that I was impressed with the Lancers is that they were able to kind of set the momentum that St. Augustine so desperately wanted going into this ball game. Is they were able to run at will, they were able to kind of pass at will, and their defense has definitely been up to the task of stopping the Saints offense.
Hudson with a great lateral over to Elijah Preston. Preston with some clever maneuvers makes it almost midway up the field. It looks like he'll be downed at the 45-yard line. Preston with an impressive run.
And I tell you, he kind of pinballed around there once he was able to get into the secondary. And as it looked like the play was over, he was still on his feet, his legs still moving. He kind of came back towards the broadcast booth here and was almost able to break it off, turn upfield, and keep that play going. But they'll go ahead and take it as it gives the Saints a first down here, heading close to midfield.
St. Augustine's driving from the right side of your screen towards the left if you're watching on your computer. Looks like he's got Preston once again. Preston, a strong run. He moves those little legs pretty fast, and he drives all the way up to midfield. Stands at only 5'5", just a freshman, but he's been impressive so far in this game for the Saints when we've seen him, Ed.
So far, that freshman, when he's gotten his hands on the ball, he makes things happen. And that may be one of the cures here for the Saints offense, is to keep the ball in the hot hands of the running back there and able to come up and make that stop. Was Justin Garza, the linebacker. Was able to keep the running back from tacking on more yardage there on his stats.
Man in motion behind Hudson. He'll ladder it back behind him to Preston once again. Preston's wrapped up, though. That's going to be a pretty big loss for the Saints.
And their big old number 56, Sean Slayton, the defensive lineman, the senior, 6'2", 200 pounds, able to get into the backfield. That was a deep pitch from the quarterback to the running back. And a little too deep, because it's going to bring up 3rd and 10 here. And getting back to what I was impressed with in the first half for the Lancers, seems to have carried over here. Aside from allowing the Saints to pick up that first down on that long run, they're holding their ground for the most part as they hold a 2-score lead here early in the 3rd quarter.
Lancers defense has been solid. Hudson, he's looking for a pass, gets it off, finally finds his intended receiver, and he's going to make a run down the field, and he's pushed out of bounds. That was Hayden Mortimer. He pushed out Ethan Sanchez, who we've seen a couple attempts by Hudson to connect with Sanchez, but it just has not panned out until that last play. But finally it comes together for the Saints.
And the old adage is you can pretty much anybody can play quarterback if they've got time, and that isn't necessarily the case. But the erratic play so far of the Saints quarterbacks there was kind of sent in a different direction as they were able to give the quarterback time, and he was able to make a completion and bust into Lancers territory.
Herberger with a short run. Looks like he's going to pick up 3 yards. So it's going to be 2nd and 4. Actually about 6 yards for Herberger on that play. They'll be at Carlsbad's 29-yard line. 26-yard line. So finally making some offensive moves here. Ed, where do you see the Saints going offensively? What do they got in their playbook at this point?
I think you tire down the defense of the Lancers and you just keep pounding the ball. You've got depth. You've got strength up front.
Passes off and he finds his man. That's Ryan Herberger, part of the Herberger duo out on the field. And now they're getting within strike zone, Ed. Things are starting to look up for the Saints.
And just as they contradict what I'm saying, and maybe that's why I'm not a coach and I'm up here in the booth. I'm sitting there saying they need to pound it. They turn around, play action, able to get the pass off to the running back and pick up a good chunk of yardage, going from the 24 down to the 14. They've got another first down. We're closing in on 7 minutes here in the 3rd quarter, and the Saints are looking to change their fortunes and get on the board here.
Now they pounded up the middle for you, Ed. They pick up maybe a yard or 2. 1st and 10. They're going to be sitting at the 10-yard line now. 7 minutes left on the clock in the 3rd quarter of play. They're still down 2 scores, down 13 points. But St. Augustine finally within striking range.
And the one thing you got to like here is they're maybe not necessarily playing to their strengths of the past, because the Saints offense in years past has been prolific and one of the best in the county year in and year out. And here, they're just kind of feeling their way. They're not completely out of this ball game. And they're showing different sides, different faces, different facets, that they're going to be more of a run team possibly. They can be a run team. But you got to like the direction that they're going in here on this drive as they're closing in on the Carlsbad end zone.
Hudson handed off to Sanchez. Sanchez picked up a couple yards up the middle. We have a Lancer player down, though. I didn't get a glimpse of who that was. He's still down on the ground, though, so we're going to take an injury timeout here as that player has their leg in the air. It's like a lower body injury.
And while they're tending to that player, we're just going to remind you that today's game is brought to you by California Printing Consultants, your one-stop printing source for all of your printing needs. Feel free to give them a call at 866-485-4039 or visit them online, cpcfirst.net, for your next printing project. Also, check them out on the St. Augustine team page on playonsports.com and click on the CPC icon. Online print buying has never been easier.
6:24 left on the clock. Saints making some big moves here offensively to sit where they are in the red zone. Still down 2 scores, 13-0 to the Carlsbad Lancers. Carlsbad, they've provided some beautiful facilities for us here, Ed, and they've been playing beautifully as well. But St. Augustine is making some strides early in the first quarter of the second half. 6:24 on the clock. Still have the Carlsbad Lancer player down. And looks like they're getting up now. That's Jordan Richmond, who we've seen make some big plays for Carlsbad. He's getting up unassisted. Moving a little slowly off the field. Hard to tell what happened there. It looked like it was a lower body thing, but it looks like he's okay now. So hopefully we see more of him in this game. A round of applause for him for being okay. So we have the St. Augustine Saints. They're taking back to the field now. Saints, it's 3rd and 3. They're at the 7-yard line in Carlsbad territory. Looks like they're going to have Sanchez out wide right. They also have Tim Chapman over there. Hudson's going to take this snap. He's going to hand it off to Herberger. Herberger's going to make a run up the middle. He gets deep, but not quite deep enough. He's going to fall short to about the 2-yard line, so it's going to be 4th down and goal.
And as it looks here,
excuse me, 1st down and goal, not 4th. They did pick up the 1st on that play.
They were able to pick up the 1st down there. They spread out that offense, and just a quick handoff to the running back who was able to go up the middle and pick up that 1st down, and they're knocking on the door here.
Hand off to Herberger once again, and he drives, and he's going to make it in. So it's a touchdown, the first touchdown of the game for the Saints. It's 13-6 now. Saints finally put one up on the board, Ed.
Touchdown Herberger there from just a few yards away. And that crowd that is right beneath us, the Carlsbad home crowd there's pretty much quieted up as we're able to listen from across the field as the well-traveled crowd for St. Augustine is turning up the volume over there as their boys get on the board here as they're looking to cut another point off the lead here with the extra point. As we stand right now, 13-6, 5:34 to go in the ball game. And looks like the Saints are going to take a timeout and maybe think about going for 2 here. I don't necessarily see that there's a need for urgency.
Interesting.
You've still got 5.5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter and still a whole 4th quarter to play.
Very interesting.
You know, if anything, this sends a sign that, A, you're either not completely sold on your kicking game here early in the season, game 1 of the season, but that's never seemed to have been a problem. They've always managed to put together a good kick-punt combo.
Oh, I've seen some good ones.
And there's one now that'll be that moved up to Montezuma Mesa, who's making a really, really good push to be the opening day kicker / punter, which you don't see often in college, in the pros. High school, maybe a little bit. And I'll tell you right now, that's Seamus kid.
Seamus McManus. I saw him, I believe it was a 57-yard kick. I was broadcasting the game with KBC Now Play on Sports, and he's one of the most impressive kicks, high school, college, pro, I've ever seen. This kid just dinged it, barely cleared the uprights at 57 yards.
Well, I've heard he's put on a show prior to the game, even at halftime.
And he's an impressive young man as well. So
he's definitely making noise up there at San Diego State. But
so I'm reliving my glory days here. But
well, let's see if the torch was passed on to Nick Sinclair, the junior kicker.
Extra point is up, and it's good. A good run of it, though. Carlsbad's Dustin Lorenzen almost got a hand on it. But interesting timeout taken there. And it all goes for just an extra point, all said and done. So now we have a score of 13-7. 5:34 left in the 3rd quarter. Carlsbad, they're still up.
And that's had to have been a few people talking there on the sidelines. First and foremost, the special teams coach has got to be pleading the case for his kicker to get out there and to show that he can get the job done. And especially in high school football, a kicker can play an integral part. I covered last year's Division V championship game, and it came down to a field goal, second field goal that went wide left, giving the Christian Patriots the Division V title, but it all came down to those 3 points. See here, even though it was just an extra point, it was on the road, and Nick St. Clair stepped up and showed, you know what, we're going to continue the tradition of good kickers here. Is that kick had some height on it.
And he kicks off another one here. That's a good kick. It goes all the way to 5-yard line. Carlsbad finds a hole, though, on the near side. He's got 2 men to beat, and he's taken down by St. Clair. That was Dorsett, an excellent run for Carlsbad. Sinclair, though, ended up taking him down almost all the way to the 50-yard line, about midfield. I think they're going to call it at the 48-yard line. So an excellent run there by Dorsett.
A great run by Dorsett, and I'll tell you what, both number 34s here in this ball game. You can't go wrong. You got Ryan Herberger for the Saints, and then you got Aaron Dorsett for Carlsbad here. And that was a great kickoff to answer back for that 7 points that was scored by the Saints just a few minutes ago.
Handed off near side. That's Sean Cameron once again. We've seen him carry the lion's share of the carries for Carlsbad.
And that was Joe Maloof there, the linebacker, the senior, able to slice on in. Throw the running back off balance. He was able to pick up a couple of yards there. It's going to bring up 2nd and 7.
5 minutes are left on the clock. They sit right at midfield. 50-yard line. That's where Carlsbad's going to get their start. The Lancers looking to respond to the St. Augustine score. They put up 7 on their last drive. Cameron up the middle once again. Chapman just handing that ball off. He's getting the play call from the coach on the sideline. Head coach Thad McNeil figuring out where to take this offense. Short gain of about 2 yards, so it's going to be 3rd and 6. 4:29 left on the clock.
And just to allude to a point that we made earlier, that the St. Augustine Saints had lost 19 players, we're going to go ahead and make a correction. They had 19 part-time and returning starters coming back to this team. So maybe not so much as getting to know each other. It's just at this point finding a rhythm and trying to win this ball game here in Carlsbad.
Ball caught by Mortimer right up the middle. A short pass turns into a big gain. Chapman found him sitting right in the middle. He almost had trouble handling that ball. It was thrown at him so hard, but Mortimer turns that into a big run. That's going to put him right at the 26-yard line, all the way in the St. Augustine zone.
There, just sliding across the middle, Hayden Mortimer able to pick up the first down and then some, as he's able to get the ball almost to the 25 of St. Augustine. And you've got to like the play calling. They've just kept it off balance just enough. You know, a little mix of run, able to come back with some play action passes earlier, and there, just a quick slant over the middle.
Chapman goes to Cameron once again. Sean Cameron's going to weasel his way all the way to the 20-yard line. Short gain for him. Flags on the play, though, thrown in the backfield. And it's going to be a hold against the Lancers, so that's going to be a bit of a setback for them.
And usually when you get the yellow hanky thrown from the back, Judge, it's usually never good for the offense. There's it. They're going to march it back to the 32-yard line. Still in great field position as they're on the St. Augustine side, Carlsbad is. And it's a shame to have kind of negated that run, because it's showing right now that Carlsbad, they're up front. Their 5 is definitely getting the push, allowing for the quarterback to find time and find receivers over the middle, and for the running backs to kind of slice up the yardage.
Figuring out their play call here. It looks like Carlsbad's going to take the timeout. So 3 minutes and 9 seconds left in the third quarter of play. Carlsbad, they're still up 13-7 over St. Augustine.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups, like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the Play on Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all of their games and activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
I would have loved to have done that in high school. That sounds fun.
That does sound fun. And I definitely would have made that an option. Being 5'9" and all of about 100 pounds at the time,
wow,
through most of high school, it would have taken less of a beating on the field as off the field as I would have been able to call the action. But here we are in Carlsbad, California, just north of San Diego by a few miles, a few ticks if you would, safely in the broadcast booth alongside our producer and our play-by-play guy. I'm safely in between here, and there's probably a 100% chance I'm not going to get tackled.
I think that's safe to say, Ed.
It is. I'm feeling pretty good about my chances of walking out of here on my own 2 feet. So it looks like here the Lancers First and 16 from the 32 of St. Augustine.
They're going to go to Cameron once again. Chapman will hand that ball off. Cameron's going to make a couple yards out of that play. They're going to be well short, though. It's going to be a third down now. 2:53 left on the clock, though.
And I think at this point we've seen a blocked kick and a made extra point. Actually, a blocked extra point as well. On the roster here, they've got Sam Oakes handling the duties for Carlsbad. We don't know how strong of a leg.
Chapman's looking for a pass play, though, and he connects. And driven out of bounds. I think that's going to be pretty close to where they needed to be. That was to 81 Leo Marin Jr. First time we've seen him today, and I think, yep, that will be the first down.
So that kicker talk goes all for naught as they're able to connect to the big wide receiver there, the senior, 6'2". He's able to haul in that pass, turn up field.
Oh, no, excuse me. I think they're going to call that just short, actually. Sorry to cut you off, Ed.
Oh, not at all. It looks, yeah, they're gonna say that he's 3 feet short there.
I thought they were going to call that one a little further than what they did. It's still 3rd and 1 yard to go, but it's an interesting point that we have not yet seen a field goal even attempted in this game.
Well, and Carlsbad's hoping here that their running back is able to pick up that yard, but flags on the play.
Booth next to us is excited. They saw the jump there, as did the referees. It's going to be the false start on Carlsbad, so maybe we will see that kicking unit out here.
I tell you, that dreaded false start stalls offenses across this nation. Nobody likes that thing, especially as you're driving.
Rules are rules, Ed.
I tell you.
2:25 left on the clock. Carlsbad is going to be at the 21-yard line. Now they got 6 yards to go to pick up the first down. Chapman's in the shotgun, takes the snap. He's looking deep. He's got a little bit of pressure. It turns into a lot of pressure. And that continues to drive, and he's going to be brought down by the Saints defense. A sack of Chapman. Good turn of events for the Saints, and that might force the kick.
There, it may have pushed him a little bit farther out of field goal range right now as you're looking at a 43, maybe 48, 49, not years it would take to make the kick, 49-yard kick from this point. But you got to give credit to the secondary of the Saints there because you spread out the offense. You had 3 receivers up top, and the quarterback was definitely showing that he was looking to find one of them. Secondary held their ground, were able to stay with the receivers as the front 4 was able to get past the front 5 of the Lancers, sack the quarterback, and it's a good thing because it looks like here that they're going to go for it.
The referees are pushing the Carlsbad coaches off of the field, not physically, just gesturing towards them. And we still see Chapman out on the field. Christian Chapman, who's done an excellent job quarterbacking Carlsbad in this game. He's still out there, so it looks like they're going to go for it. This is a risky play call. They're only up 1 score. Score sits at 13-7, and they're going to go for it.
And here, even at the 31, if it falls incomplete or if it comes up short, you've still got Saints pinned back in their own territory.
4 and 15. He hands it off to Cameron. Cameron's going to be brought down near on the right side, right about the 30-yard line. Aggressive play call. We'll see if that pans out for Carlsbad. Ball will turn over, though, to the Saints offense.
Well, if anything, you bought yourself a little bit of yardage.
Oh, hold on. We see a flag out on the play.
There's a flag on the play out there.
And that's going to be against Carlsbad. It's declined, so like we said, the Saints are going to have possession of the ball at the 30-yard line in their own territory. Last scoring drive worked out for them. They put up 7 up on the board.
Well, and if you're Carlsbad, it wasn't necessarily that bad of a move because if your kicker misses the ball, St. Augustine would be able to take over possession at the point of the kick, of wherever the ball would have, and it would have pushed them further down the field, closer to the 50, as it would have probably put them around the 42.
And that's kind of a gray area, too, in terms of a field goal or a punt. You could have punted and tried to pin them real shallow, but, you know, if that goes out or I could put them at the 20. So,
So
not an entirely unorthodox call there, I think.
they're banking on their defense here to make a stop and get the offense the ball back.
Handoff pans out for the Saints. That was Tyler Herberger. Excellent run. He's been making most of them for the Saints tonight. Minute left in the third quarter of play. And the Saints are going to be at the 39-yard line.
As we're closing out within a minute of this third quarter, second and short here. St. Augustine yet to show pretty much anything of an aerial attack. The running game seems to have suited them just fine so far here in this game.
Herberger's got a big run on his hands, and he's pushed out little shy of the 40-yard line in Carlsbad territory. A great run by Herberger. He's carrying the team's offense on his shoulders right now, Ed.
And why go to the pass if you're going to get runs like that? And here it might show the experience of those 19 players that we seem to have subtracted that we're going to go ahead and add back to the St. Augustine side, starting to show their depth here. And maybe more of, fatigue of the players here on the defensive side for the Lancers, because that was an authoritative run there as he was able to come to the near side, turn it upfield for a huge gain.
10 seconds left in the quarter. Hudson takes the snap, goes to Herberger once again, and he's going to pick up a couple yards. Gain of about 4 yards, I think they'll call that one. So at the end of the quarter, we'll switch sides of the playing surface. 12 minutes left in regulation time here. Lancers, they're still up 13-7.
Play On Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us on Play On Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/playonnetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com. Well, as we close out these three, so far the summary of these three quarters has been Carlsbad dominating the first half, St. Augustine kind of slowing that down in the second half as they're able to eat into that lead, cutting it to 6 from 13. We've got 12 minutes of football left to play here, and if you're asking me now, the momentum is swung into the favor of the Saints as they've showed a running game that has just seemed to have been able to kind of cut through this Lancers defense. But that said, Andrew, we've still got a full quarter of football left to play, and anything can happen in these next 12 minutes.
Still only one-score game. You're right, Ed. The Saints are now driving from the left side of your screen towards the right. The spectators getting notably excited here. Passes off, incomplete. That's well wide of the intended receiver. That was Hudson. He was looking for the intended receiver, Sanchez. We've seen that pan out once or twice in this game for the Saints. That time it's for naught, though.
And one of the hardest mechanical adjustments to make is throwing against your body. As he was rolling right, his body not really set up, his mechanics not really set up to put a lot of oomph into that pass to number 81. That came nowhere near being complete, as he was kind of forced to the near side of the pocket, out of the pocket, I should say, to the near side of the field. So he came up with an incomplete pass there.
There's JoJo Hudson. Takes the snap. He looks towards the right side, hands it off, though. That was Elijah Preston. We've seen him make some remarkable plays. Only a freshman. Picks up a few yards for his team on that play. It's going to be 4th down now.
It's going to be interesting to see if this is going to be the theme of the 2012 St. Augustine Saints, getting away from that high-powered passing offense and going more to a more mobile quarterback there, who we've seen at times is able to elude the tackle, able to get away from the rush and make things happen. But it always helps when you got a fresh running back there, as they've been able to rotate out 2 or 3 guys for positive results.
It's 4th and 2, and they're going for it, Ed. Crowd's excited. Both sides are. It's handed off. And they make it. Herberger drives and picks up about 10 yards for his team, so he picks up the first down again in that sort of gray area, Ed, that we were talking about. Do you go for it? Do you kick it? Do you punt it? What do you do in a situation like that? And they go for it, and they succeed. So now they're sitting at about the 24-yard line in Carlsbad territory.
And I tell you what, this is
What?
a far cry from last year's shellacking of Carlsbad, 39-0. Saints were able to kind of manhandle them there. Different story here.
Herberger looks like he's going to have a lot of men on top of him. He's dragged down. No gain on that one.
And it's safe to say that somebody purple tackled somebody in purple here on this last play.
Overwhelming insight.
I tell you,
Ed Alcaraz.
I sided with the conservative call there on that one. Purple on purple.
And we'll look at the schedule here really quick going forward for St. Augustine. They face Steel Canyon next week. That's an away game that'll be at Steel Canyon. Mater Dei's up on the schedule, another away game before they round out to Otay Ranch after that. So a couple of away games to lead off their schedule with all that turnover on their team. So it's going to be a tough bit of a schedule coming up for St. Augustine. Hudson takes the snap, looks towards his left side, familiar side. He finds Herberger. Herberger streaking in towards the zone. He's brought down just short of the touchdown. It's going to be about 2-3 feet shy of a touchdown. St. Augustine making moves.
There, just a quick pass to his receiver, but not without some danger there, as you had a defender who wasn't able to clamp down and get his hands on that ball. They were able to get it into the running back, who comes up just shy of the goal line. As it looks, it's going to be 3-4-2, about a little bit past the 1 yard line mark. And St. Augustine here clicking on all cylinders as they've got the Lancers on their heels with a chance to tie or possibly take the lead here.
Fireworks from Hudson and Herberger. Herberger with another chance. It looks like he's going to come up short, though. Hand off to Herberger. He's been a force, Tyler Herberger, that is. We should clarify, I suppose. Tyler Herberger's been great on this last drive for the Saints, and now within a yard of tying this game up, maybe even putting them in the lead, Ed.
And these are the kind of ball games you like to call. I mean, there's action throughout. We haven't had a ton of scoring or opportunities for that matter, but here is what all that matters is we've got a chance to see a lead change.
Herberger, he's going to try right up the middle. This one's going to be close, and it's called a touchdown. Herberger drives it in right up the gut. St. Augustine, they're going to tie it up at 13-all with 8:42 left on the clock, and they've got a chance for one more point on top of it.
Nothing pretty, no trickery whatsoever, just up the gut with the guy who pretty much carried him down the field here on this drive. As you've got, I'm going to go ahead and give him the title of Mr. Herberger, one of them anyway, as he was able to grab that yard, cross the goal line, tie this game up with a chance right here with the extra point of putting the Saints in the lead for the first time today.
They faked the extra point and brought down. That was Tim Chapman on St. Augustine. They're going for the sneak. He was supposed to be the placeholder of the kick, and he picked it up and ran with it. He was brought down that about 5 yards short of the end zone, and it looks like he's favoring one of his legs as he's exiting the field. He's picking up steam now. He looks okay. So it's going to be a 13-all game. Wow, risky play calling there.
I tell you, we started this game knotted up at 0. We're right back at that point. The only thing different is both teams have added 13 points to that 0 from the beginning. And if you're Carlsbad, you've got 8 minutes and 42 seconds to be the last one to throw points on this board and to come away with what would be a pretty impressive victory against a ranked team in St. Augustine, and also able to avenge last year's loss, which is a good thing.
This is turning into a heck of a ball game as time winds down. 8:42 left on the clock in the fourth quarter. St. Augustine's kicking off now. That's Sinclair. We've seen him make some excellent kicks. He gives this one just a little bit of a tap, though, and it's going to bounce and be recovered at the right before the 30-yard line. And that's brought in by, looks like number 8, Noble Todd. Noble Todd, excellent job picking that ball up, managing to hold on to it. It was a interesting bounce off the ground, just a gingerly little kick, but he makes the best of it, brings it into his own 38-yard line, and that's where Carlsbad's going to get their start. Really quick, I want to go over a couple of the games coming up for Carlsbad. They're going to be facing San Diego next week. They'll be facing San Diego at home, that is. Ramona at home the week after that as well. Then they'll be at Westview the following week. Hand off, finds a hole. That's Cameron. Cameron's going to get pushed off. A big run from Cameron right around the 40-yard line in Saints territory. So just like that, Carlsbad comes up with a response to St. Augustine.
And they're going to go ahead and mark him at the 38, and that was a heck of a run. And if you are Carlsbad, that's exactly what you needed. Your offense kind of went dormant for the last quarter or so. Not really even putting a yardage into the stats as far as doing anything on offense. They kind of got away from the run a little bit. I won't necessarily say they got away from the run. St. Augustine kind of stepped it up, making adjustments at halftime as they've tied it up. But that run definitely puts Carlsbad in a good position.
Chapman, he's hit on the blind side. He fumbles it, and it's recovered. Holy smokes. That was picked up by St. Augustine's Robert DeCourt. He ran that the whole way in. Wow, what a hit applied to Chapman. Chapman went down hard. He is still on the ground, and he just got nailed from the blind side, Ed. That does not feel good.
I'll tell you something right now. That's what highlight films are made of right there, as the defense just swarmed in. I think they were definitely putting pressure to kind of keep the Carlsbad offense honest, thinking possibly that with the majority of the plays that we've seen, it was going to be a run, as they were able to get into the backfield there, and as the quarterback was setting up, just blindsided him. The ball comes flying out, and number 88 for the Saints was able to pick it up and go untouched into the end zone.
What a game changer for St. Augustine, though. 8:14 left on the clock. They're going to be up 19-13 now with a chance for an extra point. Suppose they're not going to go for 2 on this one.
I think the smart play here is to get the 1 and force Carlsbad into a situation that if they do want to take the lead, they're going to have to go for the 2-point conversion. That said, they're still within range. But the momentum swing here that I discussed previously, as they put up the extra point there to make it a 20-13, give them a 20-13 lead, St. Augustine that is. But if you're Carlsbad, now there is a sense of urgency. You had a great play that got you into Saints territory. Very next play, you give it up on a fumble, on a vicious hit on the quarterback there. Come back, and if you're St. Augustine, you got to be feeling good as you've roared back and scored the last 20 points in this ball game to take a 7-point lead.
Robert DeCourt with a heads-up play. One of the few times I think he'll be putting up a score, not normally the responsibility of a man in his position. But an excellent job by him to recover that ball, drive it all the way into the end zone. What a hit on Chapman, though, and that turns the whole tide of this game.
And I tell you, for the senior McCourt, talk about being in the right place at the right time. That ball bounced right up to him. He had no choice but to run. Luckily for him, he went in the right direction and gave his team a 7-point lead here.
Sinclair's going to kick it for his team once again. Long kick this time. That's going to bounce at about the 7-yard line in Carlsbad territory. Lancer is going to bring it up all the way to the 25 before being brought down. That was Josh Davis on St. Augustine bringing the tackle. And so now burden's on Carlsbad. They're down 7 points, 8 minutes, 8 seconds left on the clock.
And here, one of the things that you've got to realize, did Carlsbad kind of lull themselves into a feeling of false security and thinking we can go ahead and nurse this 13-point lead? St. Augustine hasn't gotten any rhythm on offense. There was no continuity. But as with the good teams, St. Augustine included in that, they were able to make the adjustments and roared back to take a lead here.
And there's a fumble on the play, and it's recovered by the Saints. Holy smokes. Sean Cameron fumbled that ball, and that was picked up by Kyle Daly on the Saints, and things have been collapsing. The floor has been collapsing under the Carlsbad offense these last couple drives, Ed.
And I tell you right there, Sean Cameron, in a sign of frustration, threw his his mouthpiece down near his own 20-yard line. And it's a case right there. It's just a case of trying to get everything back in one shot. You can't blame the kid. The adrenaline's going. He wanted to get his team back in either within a point or a tie or even a 2-point conversion of taking a lead there. But as the offensive coordinator, the coaches will tell you, we got to get this back. Pace yourself. Don't try to do too much. There, he was stripped of the ball. And St. Augustine right now, if they're able to put another score on this board, whether it's 3 or 7, would be looking really, really good to walk out of here with a victory.
Hudson, a strong handoff, a strong run. It's Elijah Preston who's going to run down the field, and he makes it all the way to the 20-yard line. And they're in Carlsbad territory. There's 7:53 left on the clock. They're still up 7 points, the Saints, that is. It's 20-13 in their favor, and they have a 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. Ed, that's another turning point right there, that fumble.
It definitely was, and as we had already seen, he had already had a good gain right there, and they teach, and I'm sure that this is going to be one of the rare times that number 23 there for Carlsbad is going to cough it up like that. But, you know, you're standing straight up. You've got guys looking to get that ball away from you, and they did it in that case.
Hudson goes to Herberger. Herberger finds a lot of open space on the near side of the field before he's brought down at the 10-yard line.
And there's no reason why you're going to stray from what has gotten you the lead here in this ball game of getting away from the run. And as I'd mentioned, they've got a trio of running backs that they're able to kind of shuttle in and out of there. And they're definitely doing that, especially now as you're nursing a lead. You absolutely, with a little bit over 7 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter, the last thing you want to do is turn the ball over or cause any clock stoppage. If you can prevent those two things, you're in a good place there, as you're up by 7 here if you're St. Augustine.
Saints now in the red zone. Herberger got the ball, but he's not going anywhere. He was stuffed by Carlsbad. Carlsbad makes a defensive stand on that play. 6:50 left on the clock.
And that was big number 54, Noah McGinty, the junior linebacker, there to meet the running back in the backfield. But right now, if you're Carlsbad, you've got 2 opponents. You've got the clock, and you've got Saints, and neither one is going to let up.
Time is relentless, Ed.
That it is, my friend, that it is.
Hudson, it's 2nd down. He's got 13 yards for the first, 6:22 left on the clock. Man named JoJo Hudson, he hands it off to, oh, he holds on to it, I'm sorry. He faked even me out, and he's brought down in the backfield, though. Manages to make it to the 15-yard line, so it's going to be 3rd down now. 13 yards to go for the first, 6 minutes left on the clock.
And if you can milk as much time off the clock as you off the play clock and the actual game clock here, set yourself up for a field goal. And it could be that we see Sinclair come on in, and if he does come in and puts Saints up by 10 with the clock moving the way it is, close to 5 minutes to go in the game, that's definitely going to be a huge deficit for this Carlsbad team that has given up the momentum here in the second half to come back and try to pull out a victory.
13 yards for the first. Hudson's looking for a pass, and whoa, a short pass in and out of the hands of Sanchez, I believe. That was Ethan Sanchez. He just couldn't hold on to that short pass. He had some real estate up the middle.
And I tell you, if he holds on to that ball, you might not have been worrying about 3. That could have easily been 7, as he had Green in front of him and blockers. Good combination if you're the ball carrier. But first and foremost, you got to hold on to it. You got to get your mitts on the ball before you run. You wasn't able to do that.
We're going to see Sinclair now. We haven't seen too much of him. He's looked pretty good, though. Looks like it's going to be 25-yard attempt for him. This could put 2 scores up in their favor over Carlsbad. The kick is up, And it's through the uprights, and that's going to be 3 points. So Sinclair puts his team at 23 points up over Carlsbad, who are sitting at 13. There's 5:17 left on the clock. Now 2 scores out of reach, and it's been an exciting fourth quarter for the Saints.
And they have managed to come back, not only regain the lead, but tack on a few more points there just for safe measure. Because we've seen crazy things happen here in the CIF San Diego section. As far as 5 minutes and 17 seconds, anything could happen. But the first thing you got to do if you're Carlsbad, return this kick, try to get good yardage, set yourself up, and under no circumstance turn over that ball. That'll pretty much be the last nail in the coffin, as they're down by 10 here.
Turnovers have costed them the past few sequences. But it's not out of reach for them yet. Still 5:17. They're 2 scores out, though. So I think you want to knock off this first score quick if you can. Then try and put up the field goal or perhaps another score. See what you can do. Kick is up. It's all the way into the end zone. That's the automatic touchback.
Play On Sports is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school football playoff and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here.
They'll start at the 20-yard line from the automatic touchback.
Well, I think here, if you can break out of that conservative shell, maybe go down long.
Not going to let him get away with that. That was Chapman. He had a quick pass over to Dorsett. Dorsett couldn't hold on to it, though. He tried to pick it up and run with it anyway.
And at first, it looked like it might have been behind the line of scrimmage, which in that case would have been a live ball. And he could have advanced, but the referee's right there on the spot saying, no, he was past the line of scrimmage, then that would be an incomplete pass. It's going to bring up second down here for the Lancers.
Chapman appears to be okay after that brutal hit that he incurred earlier. And he passes the ball now. Completed pass. Found Tyler Creighton. Creighton's had some good success from Chapman in this game.
And I'll tell you, that's a name we haven't called in a while. He got the scoring underway with that long touchdown pass.
That was pretty early on in this game, and we didn't see a whole lot of scoring after that. Until the last quarter or so here, it's starting to pick up. So it's 3rd and 4 with 4:40 left on the clock. They're going to need to make this one just to stay in this game. Chapman fakes the handoff, throws it off. Beautiful pass received by Noble Todd. And he's going to drive that all the way past midfield. That's just what Carlsbad needed, Ed, and they came up with it.
And at this point, everything that you can utilize from timeouts to fresh bodies, you've got to go ahead and do it. And they're a great play as the pass play to the receiver is going to get him into Saints territory. But once again, the clock ticking, 4:18, 4:17. It's going to keep moving because the ball stayed in play.
Becomes a bit of a chess match at this stage in the game. Chapman, his intended receiver, was not open. He holds on to it, and he's dragged down. Tried to make a run. He's brought down at the line of scrimmage.
Not able to see much downfield.
No, didn't like what he saw down there. So less than 4 minutes now. It's going to be second down for Carlsbad.
A smart play there. The quarterback kept it himself, saw there was nothing downfield, tried to make something happen on his own. But that was quickly stuffed by the Saints defender. It's going to bring up 2nd and 13 here for Carlsbad.
That actually went as a loss. So here we are, Chapman. He's way back in the shotgun. One man protecting him. Chapman looks, throws deep down left field line, and that's caught. What a jumping, leaping catch by Tyler Creighton. We've seen Creighton connect on that pass before, and they do it once again right when they needed it. 3:16 left on the clock. First down, and they're going to be all the way at the 21st yard line. Excuse me, the No, they'll put it right at the 20-yard line.
Right at the 20 there, and there he was able to spin around the defender, Elijah Preston, and we've seen nothing but positives from that kid so far, but just kind of out of position to stay with the receiver. Big gain for the Lancers.
Chapman likes the shotgun. He looks for Creighton again. Creighton that time in and out of his hands. 3 minutes left on the clock. Second down, 10 yards to go for the first. Still down by 10 points. The Saints are leading 23-13.
And I'll tell you what, that was a laser beam of a pass that just went straight through the clamps of Tyler Creighton. Wasn't able to get his hands on the ball. And Chapman showing, I can get this ball out in a hurry. And they're going to come up with an incomplete pass, but it might have served as a good thing as it stops the clock.
Chapman goes deep once again. Creighton's open if he can come up with it, and it falls out of his hands. Whoa.
Kind of falling back there as he was fading to the near side of the end zone, to the near side towards us here in the booth. If he's able to stay on his feet, he kind of fell. The ball hit the momentum of his body hitting, and the ball at the same time there popped it loose.
That was just one of those light up-in-the-air passes, and he just needed to make it.
They found a hole there in the Saints defense.
To the target, right, and he was wide open.
Wide open on the man coverage there. He's able to get behind the coverage, and I'd say he had at least a 5-6 yard cushion there.
Oh, yeah, incredible effort by Creighton there, and we'll see if they go back to Creighton. Chapman's still in the shotgun, and he's going to pass again. He's looking for someone. He's got pressure on him now, makes the throw up the middle. Oh, my goodness. And that was off the knees of his intended receiver, that was Evan Gaspari. Gaspari, he was open, the ball connected, but it was just 3-4 inches below where he needed it to be for him to catch that ball. Bounces off his knees.
And one of the fundamentals that you try to teach your receivers, and even so much on the defensive side, your defensive backs, see the ball all the way in. You got to see the ball all the way in. He was in stride, wide open. Chapman, they're able to buy himself some time, and unfortunately the ball goes off it seems like it went off the knee there of Gaspari.
So it's 4th and 10. Carlsbad's going to take the timeout. They're still trailing St. Augustine Saints 23-13 the score.
And just to let you know that today's game was brought to you by California Printing Consultants, your one-stop printing source for all of your printing needs. Call CPC toll-free at 866-484-4039 or visit them online, cpcfirst.net, for your next printing project. Also, you can see they are on the team page of St. Augustine on playonsports.com. Click on the CPC icon, and you can, and I'll tell you what, online print buying has never been easier.
I believe it.
I tell you what, but there, getting back to the two possible touchdown catches, those couldn't have been any easier. The way they had space on the defenders, but neither receiver, neither Gaspari or his counterpart there, Creighton, able to haul it in and pick up the 6 that their team so desperately needs here with 2:49 to go in the fourth quarter. 4th and 10 here for the Lancers.
The emotional pitch is rising here. 4th and 10, they're going for it. Chapman, he throws deep into the end zone. Let's see if they throw the flag on that. No flag was thrown, and that's almost a little bit surprising. I think they're going to say that receiver, that was Crane back there, that fell on his own volition. He had 2 men on him, though.
Well, and one of the
surprising non-call.
One of the interpretations of that rule is you have to be in a position to be able. The defense cannot impede you from catching the ball. Mm-hmm. Second part of that is the receiver has to be within or in a good position to catch the ball. There he fell down. The ball was at least 2 or 3 feet over his head. You can argue it either way. But if you are the Saints right now, what you want to do is just go ahead and run this clock off and walk out of here with a 10-point victory.
They have 2:42 left that they need to get rid of. They hand it off. That'll wind down the clock as it continues to run. Hand off to Herberger. Herberger's on the ground still. Comes up. He's not hurt.
And getting back to that last play as well, it looked like it was more towards the back of the end zone. It looked like no one was able to really get to that ball, and I think that's kind of their story for the referees, and they're going to stick to that. So you can't argue it either way. If had he not been held up there by the two defenders, was he going to be able to get himself in a position? Now it's a moot point as St. Augustine has the ball.
A close call either way, Ed. I think we can agree on that. 2 minutes left on the clock. They're going to go with Herberger again. Herberger's tripped up. He's able to pick up 2-3 yards. So as the clock winds down to $1:45, it's 3rd and 8. They just need to keep running this clock, but first and foremost, they got to get this ball down the field to put Carlsbad out of range.
There as the clock ticks, we're hitting about 1.5 minutes left in this ball game. If you're St. Augustine, nobody's really moving at full speed just yet. As they're trying to click or take as many clicks off of the clock as they possibly can, nursing this 10-point lead here.
Handoff up the middle once again. We're getting close to 1 minute on the clock. A timeout is taken by Carlsbad. They're going to stop the clock at 1 minute and 6 seconds. It's going to be 4th down when we come back into play. Saints will still have possession. They'll probably kick that off. So it looks like Carlsbad's going to have one more possession, I imagine, Ed. But depending on the kick, we'll see what kind of kick we get here. Sinclair likely to be the kicker. Punter, that is. Depending on where that ball falls, it's going to determine what kind of play Carlsbad is going to have to make going forward.
Well, pretty much if you're Carlsbad, unless you can get a run back that'll put you either on the board with 6 or very close to the end zone, you're going to have to look to put the ball in the air. And the reason that you're going to want to do that is kind of twofold there. You're going to look to kind of draw a pass interference play if you can. And secondly, you're going to hope with guys like Creighton out there, the skill positions with great hands, you're going to possibly look to maybe make that connection, get a breakdown in the coverage of the St. Augustine defense and maybe try to score that way. But, I mean, your options are dwindling here. It pretty much takes away the strength of the running game, which got you those 13 points for the most part, away from your arsenal.
It's actually Maloof who's going to be punting, not Sinclair. So Maloof's out there, and we know that Carlsbad is dangerous, and they can make some dangerous plays. The toss back to Maloof was not good. He picks it up, though, drops at about the 45-yard line. Brought up to the St. Augustine 45-yard line. That was Dustin Lorenzen. So this is an important play for Carlsbad. These next few sequences are hugely important. There's 56 seconds left on the clock. Still down 10 points, so they're 2 scores shy. See what sort of fireworks Carlsbad can come up with. Put themselves back into this game. Otherwise, they're going to get started with an 0-1 record. The Saints will go to 1-0. And a tough away game matchup.
They're not going to call it a loose
whistle
ball.
It dead, yeah.
Very close there. From our angle anyway, it was pretty close.
That was Dorsett was the intended receiver. Right on the line of scrimmage.
And usually when you see plays like that, and we've seen them more in the second half for Carlsbad than we did in the first half. It's just been kind of a reversal of fortunes. The first half they were making all the plays that they needed to make in order to build that 13-0 lead going into halftime. In the second half, we've seen the little things that they haven't been able to execute on. There, the passes, the drop passes, I think we can probably add up to maybe the total of about a half a dozen that haven't helped the cause there.
52.8 Chapman, he fires it off right along the sidelines there. Brought down was Hayden Mortimer. Kills the clock, 45.7 seconds left. That will be a first down.
There, Mortimer, smart play, able to get out of bounds.
Oh, yeah.
That's not the case. They're just moving the chain so that the clock actually goes back to running. And once again, inability.
They're still running the clock right now, so all of this is winding down their time. That's not good clock management right there.
Not at all. Right at this point, your receivers need to get out of bounds. They need to put themselves in a position to make the catch, try to get as many yards as they can.
20 seconds left. They're looking deep. Chapman gets it off. Incomplete. Knocked over was Creighton.
And there you've got 15.2 seconds on the clock. You're down by 10. Brings up 3rd and 10. The last two receptions that you had didn't get out of bounds. Pretty much just letting that clock run wild. And I think if you're Carlsbad here, it is obviously 4-down territory, but even if you get it, score and try to do the onside kick, you don't leave yourself much time here, if any.
Barring something remarkable, I think it's safe to call this one. Although Chapman's going to make a play into the end zone, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Gaspari, I believe.
And one of the other things I do have to mention, a lot of these passes that are falling incomplete that we've seen are hitting hands. They're hitting hands. It's not like you're saying he's throwing them behind the receivers, he's throwing over the receivers. We have seen a few of those passes, but for the most part, on this last pass,
Chapman's been relatively accurate. I think his receivers, I'm not sure what it is. I think it could be, we mentioned this earlier, that these teams don't have a whole lot of time to prepare coming into these first games, that it could just be an issue with that. And that pass is caught by Creighton. He's hogtied down at about the 20-yard line. 3 seconds left on the clock. We're going to have one more play.
As soon as that ball is...
They just need to get the right personnel on the field.
Get the right guys on the field here. Exactly 3 seconds to go in this ball game. I think at this point...
That actually picked up the first down. So it looks like Chapman's just going to try and ring one off here. It's looking deep. Saints are playing conservatively, and that one's just run out of bounds by Chapman. And so that's going to be the final score here. The St. Augustine Saints with an incredible second half comeback. They're going to win this ball game 23-13 over the Carlsbad Lancers. So the St. Augustine Saints, they're going to be sitting at 1-0. Carlsbad Lancers will drop to 0-1. The battle of the color purple is over, Ed, and that was an exciting second half.
And one thing I got to add to that, purple won.
Purple won.
Purple won. And you got to feel good going into next week, as they're going to be road warriors to start the first 3 games of the season. They're able to pull out a victory here in Carlsbad. Next week, to Steel Canyon. The week after that, to Mater Dei. And then finally on the 21st, able to come back home and face Otay Ranch. And by home, I'm going to say Mesa College, which is
it's a big facility.
Quite a big facility. And it just here, just able to just bottle them up in the second half. A tale of two halves. Usually you want to be on the winning side of the second half, which St. Augustine was, is they're able to pull out a 10-point victory, 23-13 here in Carlsbad.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to stay tuned to playonsports.com for our post-game coverage. We'll wrap up all the action in our post-game show, and we'll have an interview with our player of the game. That's coming up in just a few moments. Once again, the St. Augustine Saints, they've defeated the Carlsbad Lancers, a final score of 23-13 on Friday Night Football on playonsports.com, your destination for high school sports. Welcome back to PlayOnSports.com. I'm Andrew Lockhart. With us is Tyler Herberger. Tyler, you had 2 touchdowns, and your team had an incredible second half. What did the coach say during halftime?
It wasn't so much the coaches. It was the players firing each other up. Coaches obviously made some changes in the techniques and stuff, strategies, but we got each other pumped up at the end.
So there's nothing specific they said. It was just the players amping each other off, just feeding off each other's energy.
Yep. Of course, we made a couple adjustments, but most of the time we knew we needed to get out there and fire out.
And Carlsbad came so close to bringing the score back within range, especially those couple pass attempts into the end zone. How are you feeling when you saw that going down on the field?
My heart just dropped, but luckily, they didn't catch him, and it was just great.
So how do you feel about the rest of the season going forward?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited, playing all these better teams, and I think we got a good challenge, and I think we're going to do well.
And what's it like playing with your brother?
Oh, I've played with him all my life. It's nothing big.
Do you guys feed off of each other?
Yeah,
Do you like that energy? You pump each other up?
Mm-hmm. He always gets me going, and I always get him going, and it's just a good thing.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Herberger, thanks for being here. We got more coverage up on PlayOnSports.com. Don't go anywhere. And Tyler Herberger, 2 touchdowns.
Thank you.
Welcome back to PlayOnSports.com. That was our player of the game, Tyler Herberger. Tyler put up 2 touchdowns en route to a miraculous, dare I say, second half by the St. Augustine Saints, who beat Carlsbad. Final score 23-13. Ed, the Saints almost looked dead in the water in the first half. What changed in the second half in their play that led to their victory?
In talking to our player of the game as we were walking back to do the interview, I asked him, I said, the intensity level wasn't there in the first half. What was said at halftime that led to the spark in the second half and getting you guys on the board and pretty much running away with it? And he said, we were pretty much handed our butts to say it in a nice way. But he said it's not something the coaches needed to tell us. It was something that we knew we needed to do. We came out flat. Carlsbad took advantage of it, jumped on the quick lead. And he said, but going forward, this momentum with a 10-point victory here, he goes, I know for a fact is going to carry into next week.
And that's what Tyler mentioned in our interview, is that the coaches didn't say anything in particular that inspired the players. The players inspired themselves. And, I mean, I think that the players knew exactly what to do is itself a sign of good coaching. But anyway, a remarkable second half from them, and they really just were able to control the play in the second half, and Carlsbad really made it a ball game with those attempts in the end zone, those passing attempts. You want to talk about that a little bit?
If you're able to get one of those two, you're down 3, and there was still time on the clock, still sufficient time on the clock, at least 3-4 minutes on the clock, that you're able to do something. And it would have still been a stretch. You've still got to try to get an onside kick. You still got to try to stop Saints if they get the ball, which wasn't something they were able to do in the second half. All for naught, didn't happen. 23-13 final here. Saints pulling it out.
And then there was also that really pivotal non-call for pass interference that we saw with Creighton who had the 2 men on him. And if you could just expound upon that very, very briefly, Ed.
It was a non-call, and it could have gone either way. I'm going to side with the call that did stand. I don't think he was in a position to catch the ball. I don't think anybody was in a position to catch that ball. But as we kind of mentioned with the 2 plays, where there could have been where there should have been a touchdown. That's where it should have happened. And hopefully over the course of the season, Carlsbad's able to kind of rectify some of those and put players in a position where they make those plays going forward.
Close game, an exciting battle. We had a remarkable time. And that's going to wrap it up here from Carlsbad High School, where the St. Augustine Saints defeated the Carlsbad Lancers 23-13 final score. We'd like to thank you for joining PlayOnSports.com's coverage of Friday Night Football from Carlsbad, California. Be sure to check back on PlayOnSports.com for more information and links to all of our upcoming broadcasts. For our producer, Jared Wright, who did an excellent job, our videographer, Ken Hull, who's always fantastic, and my partner, Ed Alcarez. Ed, I always appreciate you being here. You make the game exciting. I'm Andrew Lockhart saying so long, and we hope you'll join us next Friday night on your destination for high school sports and Friday Night Football, PlayOnSports.com.
See ya.